Justin Gaethje just snapped back at fans ahead of UFC 324, and he's clearly fed up with the narrative that's been building around this fight. A big portion of the fan base has started leaning heavily toward Paddy Pimblett, mostly because of his youth and his grappling, and Justin is calling that mindset fickle and ignorant. He feels like people are forgetting who he is and what he's done at the highest level of the sport. Before all this, the situation was already boiling. Photos started circulating online showing marks on Justin's face, and a section of the fan base immediately jumped to the conclusion that it was a staph infection. Gaethje denied it outright, but that only made things worse. Fans doubled down, accused him of lying, and started questioning his condition heading into UFC 324. As for the fight itself, the highlights sound super confident. He believes Paddy is being overrated and points to clear flaws in his stand-up, especially the way he leaves his chin exposed. Justin's plan is to use his experience, technique, and durability to punish those mistakes, drag Paddy into deeper waters, and take over as the fight goes into the later rounds.
He's coming for my head and he's going to hurt me. And so, that's where we're at. I don't want to let him hurt me in front of my family, my friends, and I don't want him to take anything from me. So the animosity is, not personal, but, obviously I want to fight this guy. I want to beat him. I love the animosity comes from all the doubters. It's crazy how fickle these fans are and how quick they forget who I am and what I do and how good I am at what I do. But yeah, I want to take him deep. I want to take him into the 4th, 5th round, and I want to beat the out of this guy. That is the plan, and I will plan on hurting him, and I will want to hurt him. The closer we get to this fight. But yeah, he does leave himself open, and I have to use my experience and my technical abilities to take advantage of those mistakes. He's gonna make mistakes, and you cannot make mistakes at this level, and I have to take advantage of that. When he gets there.
Jorge Masvidal just poured gasoline on the White House fight rumors. Gamebred revealed that he is already deep into training for what he described as something very big, hinting that fight news is coming soon. He stayed deliberately vague and refused to confirm or deny any opponent, but he very clearly teased Conor McGregor by name, all while reminding everyone of his close ties with Donald Trump, which immediately raised eyebrows given the White House setting being discussed. This comes right after Dana White publicly stated that Chandler versus McGregor will not be happening at the White House. A strange turn considering both Conor and Michael previously claimed the deal was already signed. With Chandler seemingly out, speculation has quickly shifted toward Masvidal versus Conor. It is a matchup that once had serious traction years ago when both were closer to their prime, especially during Masvidal's BMF run and Conor's peak star power. While neither man is in that version of themselves anymore, the name value is still massive, and stylistically it remains a pure entertainment fight. It might not be about legacy anymore, but it would absolutely be full of hype and intrigue, and that has always been the UFC's lane. Masvidal's arch nemesis Colby Covington is also teased to return at the White House. Let's hear from him.
Yeah, definitely coming back in the next few months. I got my feet wet. I was using Real American Freestyle as my training camp, my springboard to, get some good training and get some good competition in before my next fight. But everybody knows that how bad I want to be on that UFC White House card. That's the fight that I want. That's the pinnacle. That will be the perfect cap and the feather in my cap. So, I want to fight in the White House. I want to fight for Donald Trump. I want to fight for all the military, all the law enforcement, all the ICE officials that I look up to so much. So, I want to fight for America. What better way to fight for America than on the 250th anniversary of America? So, I want to fight at the White House in June, so now it makes sense now that they've held me out this long. I've been trying to fight, I've been trying to get fights, but they just couldn't find any fights worth their time that made sense for the business at welterweight. So now that I see there's just nobody at welterweight to fight, now I might as well just go up to middleweight. It just feels like there's bigger fights up there.
Merab Dvalishvili just dropped some huge insider info, leaking a private conversation he had with Ilia Topuria, and confirming that the long-anticipated Makhachev versus Topuria fight might happen way sooner than people think. This backs up ESPN Spanish journalist Alvaro Colmenaro's claim that the UFC could be forced to have the winner of Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje defend the interim belt against Arman Tsarukyan if Ilia doesn't return to lightweight quickly enough. We'll dive deeper into that shortly. On top of that, Merab revealed revealed he was offered a grappling match against Tsarukyan and instantly agreed, but had to pull out because of a minor training injury. He didn't hold back on the excitement of it, saying he was excited to test himself against the best. As for Dvalishvili's own path, he's lined up for a title shot this summer. The likely scenario has him facing the winner of Peter Yan versus Umar Nurmagomedov, assuming Umar gets past Figgy at UFC 324. This means multiple divisions could see major shakeups, and Merab is positioning himself perfectly in the mix, both in grappling showcases and championship implications.
Merab, ერთად დავაწყოთ შენთვის იდეალური UFC-ს ქართ. დავიწყოთ main event-ით.
Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev.
მოხდება უდესვე შენი აზრით?
მე ვიცი რაღაცა დეტალები ილიასგან. შეიძლება იმაზე ადრე ვიდეო ჩვენ წარმოგიდგენთ. მომივიდა ესეთი ისა რა ქვია ამერიკასო, ესე Arman Tsarukyan's მოწინააღმდეგე ჩაიხსნა რაღაცა ის შემოგონი არ ჩამოდის რაღაცა და აი ესე რამოდენიმე დღე იყო მეგონი დარჩენილი 3 თუ 5 დღე და თუ ეჭიდავები იმაში გრაფლინგში რო ჩაატარეს იქ არმენიაში
შარაბულეთთან ეჭიდავ იმაზე
ხო და აი როგორ აი ეგ მივიღე გამოწვევად რა და მე ვთქვი შანსია ვერ მომიგებს ან წესები რო გავეცანი რომ ხო ეს mission only მე როგორ დამაფინიშოს მე შანსია რა და დავდგები და მე უბრალოდ წავედი მეორე დღეს იმაზე საჭიდაოდ და ეს კიდე გაიხსნა ეს ცხვირი რა და მაგიტო
ESPN Spanish journalists Papa Legaspi and Alvaro Colmenero, widely regarded as the most reliable Spanish MMA reporters, have confirmed that the UFC will not strip Ilia Topuria of his lightweight title and will give him all the time he needs to return. According to them, the UFC isn't planning to take the belt away, and even if an interim title defense becomes necessary, they would handle it the same way they did with Tom Aspinall. When he became interim champion while John Jones held the undisputed title, Aspinall had to defend the interim belt in Jones's absence. The UFC clearly has a lot of faith in Topuria's status as a star, and it wouldn't be unrealistic for the winner of the UFC 324 main event to defend their interim belt against Arman Tsarukyan until El Matador returns. Paddy Pimblett has already promised fans that he would take that fight if Topuria's absence continues. Meanwhile, in a recent episode of the Jackson podcast, Khalil Roundtree and Demetrius Johnson weighed in on the UFC 324 main event. One predicted Paddy to come out on top, the other leaned toward Justin Gaethje, and both explained their reasoning in detail. Let's dive in.
I think that Gaethje has the experience and the heart, and then that technical stuff that him and Whitman, just that mindset, the strategy that him and Whitman. So I think it makes for a very interesting main event.
It's going to be a sick fight. Sick fight.
So the consensus is both of you guys are going with Paddy Pimblett.
No, I'm going with Gaethje in this
Gaethje, I'm going with Pimblett.
Yeah.
And I mean, you think about it too, like Kilo said, that's one thing that Justin Gaethje does have over Paddy Pimblett is that he's fought the best of the best. Yeah. I mean, the last fight that Paddy Pimblett fought was Michael Chandler, and Chandler, it's not the same Michael Chandler it was back in the Bellator days, right? He's seasoned, and I don't want to say it.
Gordon, Ferguson, Green, Chandler, he's beat some good guys.
He's beat some good guys, but he's never fought the technical I've been here before, the experienced guy. Where he, 100%. You know, you look at El Kukui, Tony Ferguson, when Justin Gaethje fought him, everyone's like, he does some crazy shit, and then Justin was like, pop. Yeah. Just kept it simple.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.